Ukraine will intensify its use of domestically produced Flamingo long-range missiles and Ruta jet-powered missile drones in the war against Russia, Ukrainian media reported on Tuesday, citing President Volodymyr Zelenskiy. The president's remarks follow Russia's relentless attacks on civilian infrastructure in Kiev and other Ukrainian cities. Noting that both Flamingo and Ruta have already been used in combat, Zelenskiy stressed that Kiev aims to expand their testing and production this year and plans to move from isolated launches to a more substantial operational deployment. The Flamingo has been used in combat. The Ruta has been used in combat. We are doing everything possible to ensure that this year we can test not just 1 or 2 or 3, but make a serious attempt. We are moving towards that. We believe we will succeed. We very much hope so, because our repeated uses have shown that effective results are possible, Zelensky said. He did not specify where or when the missiles had been used. The Ukrainian leader revealed that 90 to 95% of Ukraine's long-range strikes on Russia are caused by domestically produced weapons. Regarding the use of European long-range weapons, Zelensky said his country is using only Storm Shadow's long-range air-launched cruise missiles in sufficient quantity and a smaller number of SCALP missiles, as there are no other systems available. Zelenskyy's remarks came days after Russian overnight airstrikes killed at least 3 people, injured 32 others and destroyed 2 high-rise buildings in capital Kiev. It should be noted that produced by Ukrainian company Firepoint, Flamingo was unveiled in August 2025 and is aimed at deep strike capability. It is capable of traveling up to approximately 3,000 kilometers with a warhead of roughly 1,000 kilograms to 1,150 kilograms. Ruta is a jet-powered missile drone that has been attributed to successful strikes at distances beyond 250 kilometers in some media accounts. Ukraine has launched massive drone attack on Russian military targets in Pokrovsk direction in eastern Donetsk region. The video footage shared by Russian war bloggers in social media platforms shows the airspace filled with Ukrainian drones in this direction of frontline. Russian war bloggers have expressed concerns that with so many Ukrainian drones around, moving in vehicles is suicide, and that there are simply no effective means of protection of airspace against drones. Being a logistic and supply hub, Pokrovsk city has been the focal point of hostilities, with heavy fighting ongoing both in the suburbs and inside the city. Ukraine is rushing reinforcements to enhance their positions around Pokrovsk. It should be noted that Ukraine's use of drones in the nearly 4-year war against Russia has become one of the most defining features of modern warfare. What began as a limited use of small commercial drones for reconnaissance has evolved into a vast and sophisticated drone warfare that now shapes nearly every aspect of the conflict. The drones are used for surveillance and intelligence gathering as well as precision strikes and long-range attacks. Earlier this month, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy said the total number of drones his country is now capable of producing annually is 4 million, with more than 1.5 million already contracted.
A dense air defense system has been deployed around the Russian capital, designed primarily to protect the Kremlin and security agencies. Radio Liberty journalist Mark Krutov published a map of the complex's locations, noting dozens of positions for the Pantsir S-1 and Tor systems. According to the collected data, Anti-aircraft systems have been installed both in Moscow and the surrounding region. Some of them are located directly on the roofs of strategic buildings, including the Ministry of Defense and the Moscow Department of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The map shows over 70 locations where air defense systems have already been spotted or turrets have been erected. Orange marks positions where experts estimate new installations may soon appear. Red marks the locations of drone crashes or their wreckage, where Ukrainian drones managed to break through the defensive ring around Moscow. The so-called elite of the Russian Federation is now reliably protected, while Russia's regions, especially those bordering Ukraine, remain completely vulnerable to attack. Residents of the Belgorod, Kursk, and Bryansk regions face the consequences of attacks daily, but the Kremlin appears to prefer to protect only its own comfort and security. Meanwhile, Ukraine continues to actively strike military and energy facilities in Russia, including at a distance of more than 1,500 kilometers. These attacks demonstrate that even a dense air defense network does not guarantee security for Moscow, much less the rest of Russia. Recall, Putin had also decided to protect his residences in Valdai. The first air defense systems were spotted in Moscow on January the 19th, when a Pantsir S-1 was installed on the Russian Ministry of Defense building. A day later, a similar system was installed at one of Putin's residences 10 kilometers outside Moscow. On January the 23rd, Russian media published footage from the Valdai district of the Novgorod region. A new air defense system has been installed in the village of Yashcherovo. The head of the Kremlin is so afraid of Ukrainian drones that he decided to protect himself and his residences by installing the latest air defense systems. A Valdai resident admitted that he actually took the photo of the air defense system last week, but only sent it today to the editorial office of a Russian Telegram channel. According to the author of the photo, the system itself, which closely resembles the Pantsir S-1, was deployed in the Yashcherovo area a couple of weeks ago. Similar systems were recently installed in Moscow and the Moscow region. Russian media journalists concluded that the air defense system in the Novgorod region, near Putin's residence, appeared after a series of attacks by unknown drones on the Engels and Diaghilevo air bases in late 2022. Residents of the village of Yashcherovo admitted that the complex operates continuously. Up to 3 soldiers are stationed near it at all times. The radar antenna rotates constantly. Putin's residence is located 6 kilometers from the village of Yashcherovo on the shore of Lake Uzin. The residence, known as Valdai, is used by Putin not for official meetings, but as a vacation spot for himself and his family. Pop stars often attend private parties there. Putin also frequently holds meetings with VIP guests there. Locals admitted that Putin is a frequent guest in Valdai. There are no critical or military infrastructure facilities in the area. Media reports indicate that even during Soviet times, the 42nd Anti-Aircraft Regiment was stationed in this area and its location was Valdai 4.